This week, lots of cottage renovation progress,
planning homestead projects,
fixing mistakes, and admitting we need help.
It's all happening on our off-grid Irish homestead.
Oh, you're such a good girl. Oh, yes, you are. Hello, Poopa. You want one? Okay, guys, come here then. Here we are back in jackets. I'm off to feed the hens their breakfast. I've already done the ponies. So, first update, let's just do this field. Wind. As you can see, the grass is growing in a very patchy way. Looks pretty good over there, less good in the middle. As you saw, my daughter and I putting up this electrical fencing, partly because we are strip grazing them up this field to try to manage both the grass and their weight. Because they're cobs, they can get a little bit on the chunky side, and also partly to protect the trees from them and them from the trees. So I don't know if you watched in a previous video, but we recently planted well over 200 trees all over our land. We got about 100 native species from Free Trees Ireland, and we planted oak in this field without knowing that oak is poisonous to ponies. So they can't get to the oak, which is good. Here we go under. Look at this pine. This one's doing well. Look at this oak. It's got leaves. So these are our blackberry plants. They seem to be doing quite well as well. So that's encouraging that these are doing well, because we were kind of slow planting them. We got them in bare root season. Not too long after they'd been planted, we had that really dry spell, and so we were hand watering some of the time, but there's so many scattered all across our land here that was not particularly feasible. And then we also planted, I think, 160 willow. We'll check on them in a minute as well. So we're back to wellies and wading through mud down here. The reason we planted the willow is partly to create a shelter belt for like the market garden area, but also because willow is so useful on a homestead. You can coppice it, you can use it for all manner of different things, which I'm sure you'll see us doing in the future. But speaking of trees, I have a very exciting update to share with you guys. On that note, big thanks to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. So after the faux pas with the oak trees in the pony paddock, it became abundantly clear to us that we need to get help when it comes to planning out the next stages of our homestead here, and particularly when it comes to planting our permaculture orchard, which we're really excited about. So that's going in what we call the back field. So we realized that we need somebody who really knows what they're doing, because as it turns out, there's more to it than just sticking some trees in the ground. Hey ponies! Ponies have come to see what's going on. They're always so curious. So I was able to search on Fiverr for a permaculture expert. I could look at reviews, I could check out their portfolios, even see who they've worked with before, all super useful for finding the right person. So I had a one-to-one consultation with Elizabeth. She was super lovely. She completely gets us, what we're trying to do here. And so she was able to take into account all sorts of things, like the slope that we live on, the contours of that field, the soil, our particular climate here, even our goals for food production and soil regeneration, that kind of thing. And the result, oh my goodness, so exciting. A detailed plan that's not just beautiful, but brilliant, like genius. This is the work of real expertise, which I think you'll agree we need. And so this means that when the time comes, so after this phase of the reno, we will turn our attention back outside. We're all set. We can start planting with confidence, and we have a plan to work to. We love that Fiverr connects you with the right people to bring your project to life. And there are professionals for everything, from garden design to video editing to architecture. You can find somebody at a price point that works for you and your budget. if you've been dreaming about a project, no matter how big or small or how niche, head to fiverr.co/offgridirish and use code offgridirish for 10% off your first order. Thanks again to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. And we will be sharing a lot more of the amazing and detailed work that Elizabeth has done for us with our organic permaculture orchard design in coming videos, which I'm sure you'll all be excited to see. She's also given us some recommendations for what I have behind me here right now, the secret garden. She gave us really useful and helpful suggestions for continuing to like rewild this area. So we're just so excited, and I know we're going to be working with her lots again in the future. Hello ponies. What are you doing, girl? Hello girly girl. Oh, who's under there? There you are. There you are. Oh, you're such a good girl. You two cuties. Nice bitches. Hello. Don't nibble me. Are you nibbling me? So we're on the path up Hillary, and I thought I'd show you, I don't know if you can make out, there's lots of berries on here. So those will be sloes, which we'll be able to pick for sloe gin, which is very exciting. So this is what's nice about it being our second year here, is that we start to notice some of the differences with nature and the seasons. So last year there were hardly any blossoms or flowering. We had a lot of wind early in the spring, whereas this year we had very minimal wind and the really warm weather. And so these blackthorn bushes, trees, were absolutely laden with blossoms, and now they're laden with fruit. So that's something that we've noticed. The honeysuckles are out again, so we kind of like know what to expect. It's like nature's firework display at this time of year, which we absolutely love.
Bad hair day. So the weather has finally turned. It is quite wet, very windy. It's fine. We've had a good solid month of absolutely epic weather, so I'll take a few days of rain. The garden needs it anyway. We had a bit of a boo-boo on the render. So plasterer, this final gable wall, he got to within 4/5 of completing it, and when he ran out, it's fine. He had like half a tub remaining in a shed from a previous job, and then started to continue where he left off, which is in that little square there. It was only then that we realised that the colour of those final 2 tubs was very different to the colour of the 2 chimney breasts and previous gables. And you can probably see in the same shot here, that chimney breast is bright white, and this gable wall that is incomplete because we ran out is not bright white, it's kind of greyish. A bit of a fail on the materials there. We had a bit of a back and forth, and we came to the conclusion that actually we're just going to re-render this entire wall, ignoring the fact that we've nearly finished it here. Just go over the whole thing again in the bright white render. When the plasterer is back next week, we'll be able to finish this job. Thank God.
I spy an escaped hen. 2? What? I don't think this has ever happened before. What are you doing? You shouldn't be out. Brenda, expected better from you. Come on, you two. Come on, get. Naughty. Here you go. Hey, Fernie. Wait. Fighting, you guys. So we've got a couple of broody hens at the moment. I don't know if it's something about the hormones or something, but they're kind of squabbling a bit more than they usually do. Hey Susie! Hey Sus! Are you broody? Yeah. Oh. Eggy. What you doing, Ferd? Hello. Don't normally get many eggs until later in the day, but 2 already this morning. Pop them in my pocket. Dangerous. Didn't bring the egg basket because I wasn't expecting any. As somebody said in the comments once, the universe hates eggs in pockets. So we'll use them to bake something in a minute. Speaking of which, let's get some thyme and I'll show you the willow.
So in the meantime, doing some plumbing. Oh, you haven't seen this. This is an update. So ceiling joists all in. All of the stud work is pretty much complete. Also a stud on this wall here where all of the pipework congregates. Yeah, it's coming together nicely. I'm going to button up the hot manifold first. Let's carry on with that. Word of warning about PTFE, it is actually a known carcinogen, and I try and keep it on the threads only and avoid any ingress into the actual contact with the water itself. And my preferred wrapping, 3 wraps of the high density stuff. With the skinny standard stuff, your mileage may vary. Go 3 brass adapters for 3 hot water ports.
So we've got the hens there, we've got all of our veg patches and herbs and things here, and then so the other side, drop down from this row of hedging, is where we planted the willow shelter belt. So you might have seen us plant this in a previous video, but it's all the way down there, and then a second strip on the other side of that giant hawthorn, blackthorn, not sure which one it is. Look how well these are doing. They were literally just sticks we poked in the ground. And look at them. This one's even going to flower. So all of this is the new growth. So apparently it can grow up to 3 meters in its first year, so we'll wait and see. It's so fun to just poke sticks in the ground and have a tree come up. My kind of gardening. Look in here. Beans are growing. So these are Cayman's broad beans. How cool. Got loads of them in there. So I need some time. Look at these sage flowers. Aren't they stunning? Absolutely beautiful. And all of this thyme smells amazing. Right, I'm going to get some of this for some baking. Little produce pocket. What could go wrong? Just put a bit of thyme in there. I'm hoping the ponies don't eat it on the way past. That happens sometimes. Occupational hazard. So I've got 2 eggs in here and some thyme. Probably ill-advised. Hello.
We go, a selection of 90-degree copper elbows I've made earlier on the pipe bender. I'm going to use a copper elbow from each port into each pipe. Let's give it a go, find the right one. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Deburr the inside. Deburr. I wonder where the word burr comes from. Sounds French. Why does it sound French? Burr. Butter. Definitely isn't butter. It's the opposite of butter. It's not smooth. It's sharp. Join the copper to pecs. Yeah, it fits. Close enough. Okay, one side attached. Of my coupler. Come on. Why are you cross-threading? Stop cross-threading. No. One outlet done. First hot water outlet on. Off. It's about as tight as you can get, very little room in there to play with. There's a reason why plumbers don't use copper very often these days, because it's just time consuming. This one's done even more time consuming because this is about as tight as it gets. Whew. 2, 1, 2. Last one. So bath, sink, shower. Crack on.
It's time for
Comment of the week.
We had so many good comments this week, but comment of the week comes from Ronnie Miller, who said Here's a wildfire escape plan. Each of you grab a chicken under each arm and hop on a pony, cave around on one, the girls on the other, then run away, screaming of course, and she said it might be her bedtime. This really made us chuckle, Ronnie. Thank you. And thank you everybody who sent really great suggestions for removing masking tape from my windows. You guys rock with your suggestions and advice. I've made a list. I'm going to gather together supplies and we'll see which suggestion wins out and makes the job easiest.
Thanks everyone for all of your comments. Please keep them coming. All 3 hot feeds done. Well, it's not done until we mark it up actually. Like a professional. Where's the marker? Lost the marker, like a professional. Found a marker. Done! Alrighty, that's enough plumbing for one night. Dinner is coming shortly, so before dinner happens, the fireplace hearth is going to get a self-leveling compound. So we're all prepped. We got our little shuttering filled in with a little bit of expanding foam. We've got a little bit of silicone to make sure it's just tight and it's not going to leak anything. Time to get this compound mixed up. I've got to find a bucket, add some water, mix it up. Bada boom, bada bing. Self-raising flour, self-leveling compound. So the morning after the night before, and we can see the self-leveling compound has gone off, looking lovely, beautiful. Happy with that. So let's do the final reveal, see what she looks like. Beautiful. Unbelievable. So this was about, it was all over the place. It was sloping down to each corner. It had a big hollow here, you can see. Its high point was over here. So we're down to, I don't know, less than 0.5 mil thickness there. The wonders of modern cement technology, self-leveling screed, absolutely bang on. It doesn't get any more convenient than that. Add water, mix it up, throw it on your floor. Love it. Now this is the perfectly flat foundation for hearth tile to go on top of. I'll be using the most flexible thin set adhesive that money can buy because this is going to have some extreme temperatures on it. There's going to be a log burner in here, so it's going to be getting up to, well, lots, very high temperature of the sun and then cooling right back down again to ambient. I wanted to go for a S2 rated flexible adhesive, which is the most flexible adhesive you can get. So that's today's task. I've got the template ready. I'm going to cut the slate, mix up the thin set and stick it in there. So it should be nice and easy and quick. Out here in the maelstrom, the carnage. You see I've marked up the, using the template. I made a bit of a boo-boo and actually marked up using permanent marker directly on the slate. Even with the rubbing alcohol, it's still not coming off. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the drawing board on that one. But anyway, I've laid down some duct tape as a little protective cover. I've marked it out. I did a little test cut. The little 4-inch grinder, it does make it through nicely, slowly but nicely. But the edge that it leaves isn't very pretty. I'm gonna cut it with a diamond disc. Let's get it on. I just realised I've drawn around the template, which is the tight fit. No, I'm gonna have to double check the template. I can't remember if I've drawn the template or cut the template to the exact internal measurement of the fireplace, or if I gave myself some clearance. It's the problem with doing 10 jobs at once. So that slots in there beautifully with very little resistance. So we've got a nice bit of clearance either side. Yeah, I'm going to go with that exact measurement. I'm not going to give it any more tolerance. That's good enough for me. see that? A bumblebee landed on my hand while I was angle grinding there. I had to shake a bumblebee off. So this crazy wind is actually quite handy because it's acting as a dust extractor, so it's just I'm getting a nice clean view of the cut because the dust is just instantly being blown away. This crazy wind, 50 miles an hour. Pretty pleased with that. So here's the front ribbon face, and we've got some nice clean cuts here. Let's get her fitted and see what she looks like. Very pleased with that. It has turned out lovely. Yeah, very pleased with that. Get rid of that horrible blue. We have ourselves a fireplace hearth ready for the log burner. Woohoo! Standard flexible adhesive, S1 rated, but because this is going in the fireplace hearth and I wanted the ultimate in flexibility for any thermal kind of movement, the next level up is an S2 adhesive. You can turn this stuff into an S2 adhesive with the addition of, they've got this latex, so instead of mixing it with water, you mix it with this latex and it turns it into an S2 adhesive, and that's quite handy. I'm going to mix this beauty up and get this slate hearth set. Oh, that was a leaf. I've got a leaf of my tile adhesive.
Some serious gloves you've got going on there.
Yeah, well, I'm applying some serious product. Well, no, I wouldn't have chosen to do this in a million years, but the plasterer says it's a mandatory prerequisite to him doing the internal plastering, so...
Do what you're told.
Yeah.
Well...
And the product...
Not normally. In this case, you'll do what you're told.
And the product that he's told me to...
You're right there.
And the product he told me to use is absolutely horrible. Do not get in your eyes, do not get on skin, wash immediately, seek medical attention. Basically, it's just toxic, deadly, horrible nonsense, but he's asked me to do it. So I shall do what I'm told by the professional. Basically a fancy glue with sand in it. I want it over with, sharpish.
Oh, crack on then.
Horrible, 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 horrible.
Will it at least be sealed in by the render so we're not breathing it in?
Of course.
Oh, that's good. See you rolling.
a week. Feeling a little bit broken. It's been a crazy week of 10 p.m. finishes every single evening, thanks to the sun not setting until 10 p.m. So it's been handy being able to get lots of work done in the evening. Feeling a little bit worse for wear right now. Anyway, progress update, because I've been so busy making progress and I've been so disorganized. Tools absolutely everywhere. The GoPro has been sitting on the floor in our bedroom underneath a dust sheet while all of the mayhem is taking place around it. So here we go, here's a week update. The plasterer has been busy beavering away. We've got the lounge wall entirely scratch coated there. This wall has been scud coated, and then in here the scratch coat continues up to the first appendage. There has been lots of preparation work on this wall. This wall was all over the place. It was a roller coaster ride. And in the ensuite, the ever dark ensuite, the stud wall is pretty much finished, with the exception of I haven't had a chance to get the last remaining noggin in that horizontal there. But we've got all of the prep work for the sink. We've got all the prep work for the toilet cistern. Got all the prep work for the vanity mirror, all of the prep work for the shower controls. The water distribution manifolds are all hooked up now. 3 hot and the 4 cold. Oh yeah, and this wall behind me has had its final scratch coat, ready for the final coat. The ceiling has had a layer of the OSB chipboard and then a layer of the Celotex on top. It's all taped up. We've got the loft hatch cut out. The ensuite is coming together nice. Lots of progress coming together, folks. Exciting times. We're going to be right up against it.
So another busy week this week. So busy, in fact, that the GoPro got lost under a dust sheet and you didn't get to film everything that you might have otherwise filmed. But
as you can see by the limited footage.
Yes. And even just the things that are changing behind us, there's been lots of progress. Mm-hmm. And it feels really good to be both planning to correct the mistakes that we made with the planting, but also to have professional help with planning next phases of our homestead. That is a lifesaver, maybe quite literally, but also a game changer, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those topics that I'm really interested in exploring, but it's so massive and so broad and so deep that it's challenging just to know where to start. So to have a pro give us a real boot start on that project is great.
Yeah, I mean, well, she's done more than that. She's given us the entire plan.
Yeah.
And it's just so nice because she really just gets us and understands entirely like what we're trying to achieve with partnering with the land here. So feels really exciting, doesn't it?
Really
Although
nice.
Let's not get distracted, because all of the homesteading stuff is so fun and can be very distracting, and it's got to be all eyes on the prize right now. The prize of being able to sleep in this cottage. Mm-hmm. Speaking of mistakes with the planting.
Yeah, mistakes all round at the moment. So mistakes on the homestead, mistakes on the reno. So we had a little bit of a boo-boo on the external render. Mm-hmm. Just as we were finishing it, actually, it was like the closing coat on the final wall. But that's okay, nothing that can't be rectified.
Yes.
So all of that's still in flight.
And we were really looking forward to some very pleasing footage of the whole thing getting rendered. Yeah. And then we're like, womp womp. We'll get it though.
Yeah.
And next week, we literally have a dream come true happening in this very room.
Hot topic.
That's right. Oh, I can't wait. So stay tuned, because ain't no stopping us now.
That's it. Super quick thanks to everyone supporting us in all manner of ways. You guys rock. Everything that you guys do, whether it's like, subscribe, comment, contribute, gifts, Ko-fi, super thanks, it all makes a very big difference, and we appreciate you all.
Yeah, you keep us encouraged week in, week out, and we really, really need that right now. That encouragement, don't we? So thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week, folks.
Thanks again to Fiverr for sponsoring this video.
See you, folks.
Bye! Visit fiverr.co/offgridirish and use the code offgridirish to save 10% on your first order at Fiverr. Such a noisy jacket.
Good quiff day. I don't know what you're about to say.
As you can see by the progress, there's been progress. As you can see by
Mother Nature. Progress.
Smashed it out. We must not get extracted. I would like to be extracted.
Yeah, please extract us.
Extract me to a tropical island, please, for a week.